Good morning, Northern Arizona and the intergalactic universe, right, Mark?
Yes, sir.
I got Mark from Southwest Truck and Auto sitting right next to me on my left. So you made it through the new year?
I did, just barely.
Yeah, it kind of
actually,
looks
we're
just
good.
barely. Yeah.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
That's why I took my glasses off. And across the table from me, I've got Ken and his wife, Carrie. So thanks for coming in. You guys are in from Florida. It's been a while since you guys have been in. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are having competition with Louie, on showing up to the show or what's going on there.
Yeah. Well, I've been campaigning for higher pay, and I've been withholding my services.
Okay.
Yeah, let us know how that works.
Okay, so thanks for joining us. Desmond Creighton from Prescott Valley Transmission. He is out this week, out goofing around, probably still getting settled in and moving into the house. Next week is the girls' show, so I believe Shannon will be here running the show. So they'll have donuts and all that good stuff, along with the rest of the girls in here. Who else are we missing? We're missing. We got Louie. I mentioned Louie because he's out goofing around.
Louie,
and
Desmond, you and
you,
I.
me. Oh yeah, and then there's that guy down at the ranch. That's his calling card. Thom is down there at the ranch goofing off. He'll be up in a couple of weeks. I think after the girl show, he makes his in-house appearance. So
And he's listening in as we speak, and he said he might call in.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
That phone number to call in, 867-5302. Yeah, there you go. Tom's got his special number. If he does call in, he'll share his number with us. I know it's a 480, like a 731-3131 or 771, something like that. But he's the Uber driver. He was really busy on New Year's Eve, shuttling a lot of people around that night. So I'm glad we wrote that number all over town and kept him hopping all night long. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining our show, Drivetime AZ, anything automotive. That's what we like to talk about. Car prices, car fixing, shops, customers, parts, all that neat, nifty, wonderful stuff. If you have any questions, give us a call, 928-541-1016. And thanks for listening on Drivetime AZ 1490 AM, and we're also on the FM station. You can stream us live and see our smiley, happy faces. We're waving to the camera on kyca.info. And you can also check out any of our older podcasts or older shows. We've got all the recordings up there on that show, too. So let's get started in the new year. So what do you guys got going on? What kind of New Year's resolutions have you decided to come up with this year, Mark?
Well, actually, I've decided not to have a New Year's resolution other than show up where I am. That's the hardest thing for me to do sometimes is be present, be here right now.
Oh, this show is perfect for you. I mean, you should definitely want to be here all the time.
Be here, exactly.
That's right.
Well, especially since now we're getting a raise after Ken has worked out something with the. Well, you want to unionize while he's gone? Maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
Let's vote on it. Yeah, we're the board, right? Complete. Yeah.
Exactly. So just be here now is my commitment to myself and my loved ones.
Good. That's a nice, good, positive thing. Ken, what are you going to commit to? Are you going to commit to being here on Saturdays and joining this awesome show that we have going on every week?
Whenever possible.
Got to ask your boss sitting right next to you, right?
I think one of our New Year's resolutions is to spend less on fuel. It seems like we're just always running errands and going to doctors and appointments and dentists and this and that. And we drive a lot around here because just a drive to the post office and back is almost 30 miles. And
Wow.
so we, believe it or not, I know a car guy. I bought a Prius, a used Prius, and we just drove it to Florida, and it was amazing. Sometimes we were getting over 60 miles to a gallon, and with a fully packed car going highway speeds, and we're getting around town. We're getting like 53 miles to a gallon.
And I giggle when we go to the gas station.
Yeah.
It is. That's kind of fun. I mean, being that it's still a sporty car. We've got a couple of in our loaner fleet.
Well, what kind of diesel engine goes in them Priuses?
I think a 4BT Cummins, I think, would come.
I don't know if you'd get any better fuel mileage, though.
Probably not.
They've got those things dialed in so good. But
Good torque, though.
Yeah.
yeah, it would be nice to use less fuel. I noticed having the last 2 weekends off, we had 4-day weekends because we were closed on the Thursday and the day after for the holidays. And last night I'm in the backyard goofing around, pushing dirt like I love to do with my tractors and stuff, and my tractor pooped out. Like, oh man, am I gonna have to call Mark? What am I gonna have to do? Then I decided I'd just open up the gas cap. It's like, there's no diesel in that plastic tank.
It's become completely filled with air.
It is. The air has displaced everything. So I jumped on.
It's only you and I that run on hot air, John.
Okay. Yeah, because then I jumped on my little green tractor to look around for some diesel around the yard. Don't have anything, and so I'm working with my little green diesel. And it runs out of gas too. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, I got to start looking at these fuel gauges a little bit more often.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd been putting 40 hours a weekend on these things.
Do you have to hand pump it to restart it to get the air out of the system?
Nope, I was lucky. I did get. I had 5 gallons from the neighbor and dumped that one in the big tractor, and it fired right up. I was like, sweet. So now I stopped at the gas station this morning, got another 15 gallons for on the way home. I can get back on those tractors and goof off.
Yeah, because as you know, when you run out of fuel on a diesel, it's bad.
Yeah, right. You got to prime it.
Yeah, generally you have to, depending on the model. Sometimes you have a hand pump, sometimes you have to run the electric pump, whatever.
Yeah, I was worried about that because I was like, it's getting a little cold and windy, and I don't want to have to do that. And just crank on the battery, and it fired up. I was like, sweet. So yes, going through fuel. That's something that it'd be nice if we could all sip. Do they have any battery powered tractors?
I'm sure
If
there are.
they do, I don't know of them.
Wonder if Prius should get into that.
I've heard of some rumblings about that, but of course, for the tractors work so hard that there's no coasting involved when you're plowing fields and stuff.
Yeah,
they don't get much range. They don't go very long.
Probably not. That'd be a long extension cord to run out into the field.
And when it comes harvest time, the farmers are running around the clock.
Yeah, and you're not braking as much. You get some kinetic energy back in the batteries when you brake. That's not as true.
So
now I know the big mining equipment stuff. Those are diesel powered generators, right? They've got the electric motor per wheel.
Some of them are diesel electric. Yeah. Of course, the ones that go inside the mines are electric.
Yeah,
but
can't have the fumes.
Yeah. But the ones that are out in the field, they'll run them and then they refuel them out in the field with a truck and keep on going. They can't spend 8 hours recharging.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. I'm glad we'll just keep our diesel tractors. We like those. Yeah. So but yeah, that's a neat thing to get rid of on fuel. And you were talking about fuel prices too, that I thought Arizona was one of the highest states as you were traveling back and forth. What do you get, like $20 worth of fuel in each state? In the Prius.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You drive all day, you put maybe $22 worth in.
We never put that.
No, I did. Yeah, I did.
Once?
But the thing is, during 25, we've driven all over the country. We've been all the way up to as far as Maine, and all the New England states were cheaper than here. All the central states were cheaper than here. Even North Dakota. I mean, it's crazy. Florida, everywhere was cheaper than here. The only place that was more was California.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear because in a couple of weeks I've got to make a trip back to Tennessee and we take the 40. And I've always noticed that it does get cheaper as we get out of to the east of New Mexico.
Yeah, it's closer.
Until we get to Tennessee again. Then it starts climbing back up.
I heard in Tennessee it's down around $2.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the cheapest we got it was $2.15.
Yeah, and I'd like to know why it's 10 or 15 cents more in Prescott Valley than it is in Prescott when the fuel trucks come up from Phoenix and drive through Prescott Valley to deliver to Prescott.
Yeah, that's always an interesting situation because I noticed that too. I mean, the fuel trucks are closer to Phoenix, and Phoenix has got more higher prices than what we have up here. So, but they're waving at us. They're cracking the whip. We got to take a break. So we're going to take a quick break. Any questions that you have about cars or anything car related, give us a call, 928-541-1016. We'll gladly take your calls. And Tom, if you're out there, a line is open for you. We'll be right back after the break. And we are back. So thanks for tuning in to Drivetime AZ, the only live automotive talk radio show in northern Arizona. And I was going over some stuff on the interweb, and Ken was just commenting on some of these things, and that's what brought it to my attention is the internet's got a lot of neat information, but I want people to think of it as not exactly fact, not exactly something that's law and the internet has everything that's the truth. This is more of like an opinion. Ken was just looking over at timing belts and water pumps, and he was commenting about those being replaced at 60 and 100,000 miles. That's not true on most vehicles. In the old days when we used to have timing belts, rubber products, then yeah, those were done about every 60,000 miles. Otherwise, they broke. Those famous Escorts, we got to doing those things in an hour and a half. I mean, so many of those things.
Some were 50,000.
Yeah,
and they would break.
And now, and sometimes that causes major catastrophe to the engine. It hits the valves, and then we're talking a lot more money. So there's a lot of neat things, and I'll just read a couple of the quick little things that we see here. Routine vehicle maintenance for longevity. Brake fluid, replace every 3,000 or every 3 years. I believe in some of that stuff. Coolant flushes every 30,000 miles or every 2 years. That's another good thing. I think that's a truthful thing to actually do. There's lifetime fluid out there and lifetime coolant and stuff, but we've seen what happened with GM deck school.
Yeah.
And that stuff doesn't last a lifetime.
I think 5 years is the outer limit.
Yeah. Yeah, by then you probably have had some type of failure. So if you want to wait till a failure and then do the maintenance, then you can, but why not do the maintenance and avoid that failure? Timing belts and chains, like we were talking about, every 60 to 100,000 miles. That's not law. That's not fact. So we got some people calling in, so let's see what they want to talk about. See if some of this, signaling over here to
Two
me.
folks.
We got a couple of people calling in, so... we have a Prescott City Councilman, Ted, calling in. Ted, are you there?
I sure am. I wanted to wish you guys, I love listening to your show. I wanted to wish you Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And I got a question for you.
Okay, shoot.
I had always been changing cars like every 2 to 3 years. And then COVID came along and things went crazy and then the prices went up. And then I started looking at cars and V8s were replaced by 6s with turbos, and V6s were replaced by 4-bangers and turbos. And before dinner, I'll sit and I'll watch YouTube, and they'll rank cars. And it seems like there's not a good car out there. And I'm wondering, is that true? And if it's true, is it because of the turbocharged engines and all the electronics that are on the vehicles? I recently was driving in the Cadillac Escalade, my buddy's Cadillac Escalade, and they're over $100,000.
Yeah.
And the engine light came on because that big monstrous electronic screen on the front went bad. What do you guys say?
Ken, I'll let you field this one because
right.
I can get real sarcastic real fast.
All right. Well, from the Prescott Valley Town Council to the Prescott Town Council, hello, or City Council.
Right.
So, I've been a car guy all my life, and
that's been a long time.
And I've been in the trade and written books and stuff and magazine articles about all this stuff. But I was just going to talk about that today, actually, that how a lot of the new engines are going bad. And there's several major factors. The one is, like you mentioned or touch upon, is that turbocharging and supercharging is these smaller engines to pull a big vehicle around is overstressing the engines, and it's shortening the lives. And the gasoline direct injection engines are having a lot of trouble with carbon buildup. And then to get EPA CAFE mileage, they've been putting real thin oils in them. They're down to 0 W8.
0.8 on some
On
tires.
some of the engines, and it's not working. A lot of these engines, it doesn't have the film strength, and these engines are going bad. And then in order to get mileage again, like the L87 engine in those Escalades and Suburbans and pickups, the big V8, they have the cylinder deactivation systems, and those have been going bad. and they give off the valve lifters go bad, and they give off metal. And then the next problem they had was the crankshafts. The crankshafts weren't machined properly; they were too rough, and with the thin oil, and they were taking out crankshafts. And so there's a huge problem with those. I think there's about 900,000 engines nationwide involved in that particular failure. And even Toyota, which has had a sterling reputation, has had its share of engine problems. Hyundai's had a lot of engine failures, and Kia, of course, is the same company. Everybody's doing it, and it's part of it is supply. A lot of these engines that are going bad, it happened, you mentioned the COVID. During COVID, they had supply chain problems, and they were getting parts from all kinds of fly-by-night machine shops and stuff. They were they would have different runs. They wouldn't all be from the same supplier, and there was a lot of shoddy parts that went into these engines and these transmissions and stuff. And then they couldn't get good people to work on the lines. People were sick. People were getting paid more by the government to not work than they were to work, and they weren't producing. So, and then at the same time, during COVID, everybody was buying cars and RVs. So there was this high demand, and there was poor quality. So all that stuff is coming to roost right now, and they're starting to get some of it under control. But I would, and then the engines, everything is so computer controlled and so non-owner serviceable. It's leading to a lot of problems. Myself, I'm staying away from the latest stuff. And just let the dust settle and see if they can work their way through and get quality back on and quality control on things. Anybody else have any?
What does that say about the used cars then? Because the used cars are the ones that were manufactured during COVID, right?
Yeah, and you, that was another thing I was going to talk about today. That's cool. The resale value on used cars is dropping. And part of the reason is that with a lot of them are coming off of 3-year leases that were started during the COVID boom, and so and people are starting to realize that these used cars are having problems, and there's an oversupply of vehicles. The manufacturers were putting out so many, and then with the high interest rates and the kind of the slacking in the economy. People weren't buying them, and there was a lot of vehicles on the lots. That drove down the price a little bit on the new vehicles, and that has an add-on effect to the used market. When a new car becomes cheaper, it puts downward pressure on the value of the used cars.
I don't know, a cheaper new car like he's talking about. They're $60,000, $70,000, $80,000.
But like
for
Jeep,
a strip model. Like
Stellantis just got their CEO at Stellantis is who makes Ram and Dodge and Jeep and everything, and they just brought back their recently retired CEO because they were going down the toilet. They had huge drops, and one of the things they're doing is they're decontenting in order to get the prices down, at least on the base models. They're going through and taking a lot of this stuff out, a lot of the doodads and gimmicks, and they're decontenting the vehicles to try to hold the prices back. But anyway, I hope that answered some of your question.
It helps out a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Generally speaking, there's a movement back to naturally aspirated engines and away from turbos. At the upper end, high performance vehicles are going back to naturally aspirated, and all the way down the line for the reasons that Ken just spoke of.
Yeah,
so
sometimes
I might want to wait a little bit more then, huh?
I would, if you can.
I just buy a diesel.
Yeah, Mark is a diesel guy.
Or if you were actually thinking about spending $80,000 on something new that's going to fall apart in 5 years, why not buy something classic from early '80s or something even earlier than that? $80,000 would really deck one of those things out, and you'd be reliable, and you don't have to worry about computers. You don't have to worry about a lot of things, and you have brute force to actually move stuff instead of a little turbo spooling up a 4-cylinder engine to try to pull a 10,000-pound trailer behind it.
And along those lines, if you get a pre-def diesel, they're bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can you talk about older cars? when you take the car to get the oil change, can you specify the oil, or are you getting this 08 oil?
Well, it depends on your car. I mean, in general, I sort of recommend going with the factory recommendations in most cases, but in our climate where you get days that are, you know, over 100 degrees and you got the grade coming up out of Phoenix, you got your air conditioner on and everything, I recommend really going up one grade. So in other words, if instead of going with 0-20 like one of my cars is supposed to have, I'm going to 5W30.
530.
And talk about
Hey,
film.
thanks a lot, guys.
Talk about film strength.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that, I know what you mean, but your average customer might not. Or
Yeah.
listeners.
Okay,
Yeah.
the whip's being whipped. So
Oh.
we'll talk about that film strength right after the break.
Yeah,
But we
you
got to
should-
take a break before
Yeah, you
we get
should
in
be
trouble.
able to get them to do it.
We got to make our sponsors happy so we can remain on the show. So we're going to take a break, and thanks for calling in. And when we come back from the break, we've got Pat on the line. So, Pat, hang in there. We'll be back in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds. And we are back.
We're back.
That's right. The fastest show in automotive talk in Northern Arizona and the intergalactic universe.
Exactly.
That's right. We have Pat that's been hanging on the line. So, Pat, are you there? We'd like to get to your question. Okay. How can we help you?
Good morning to all, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I had a question. Last Thursday, they had a segment on the news about vehicles driving on I-17 in the new flex lanes, and they were talking about the vehicles that have this correction device to stay in their lanes. And as people were driving the flex lanes, the automatic correction devices pull the car back over. And they were saying that it's because the computer isn't reading the solid lines in the other lanes.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, I have a vehicle, actually several vehicles with mine and my wife's and the kids that have the devices, and they beep, but they don't actually correct the vehicle. They don't pull me.
People could feel it in their steering wheel that it was trying to correct a slight correction to go, to keep it on track. And so they recommended, they indicated that the computer was processing so much information that, it wasn't reading, I guess, the flex lanes. I haven't driven the flex lanes yet. They're all broken up box dots and lines. And they said, well, you turn off that portion, that vehicle correction, turn it off, or turn on your blinker, and it'll correct the information to the computer.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a way to override that. I
you
think.
can do that for sure.
Yeah, you can override it. I was recently driving a brand new Kia Soul, and it had that feature, and it actually had like a self-steering feature where it would generally follow the road, and it would make little jerks. It was kind of annoying because it would jerk the wheel a little bit here and there. But then it would come on, and you could open up your hands and relax. But then it would say, "Oh, you got to have your hand on the wheel."
Put your hands back on the wheel.
And then, it was very annoying because it would dart. It was constantly correcting, and it would go a little bit left, a little bit right on a straight road, for example. But what
the technician mentioned.
Yeah, and what was really annoying was that in the middle of a curve, like if the road all of a sudden became a tight turn. It was okay on the interstate, but you get on a secondary highway, and all of a sudden you've got a short radius turn. It would shut off in the middle of the turn.
Oh man!
And it would just go off the road if you let it. So it wouldn't give you any warning. It would just like pop. It would just stop working. So I'm not a big fan of it. And it's interesting, but the manufacturers back 10 years ago were saying by 2017 we'd have all self-driving cars. That hasn't quite happened, and they're starting to learn how much there is to know about it.
Yeah, there needs to be human input when driving a vehicle.
Absolutely.
Well, Waymo has all those self-driving taxis. It's down in
Phoenix.
In Phoenix, you go crazy with them.
Yeah.
Is that way we're getting the white stoplight added on to the usual traffic signal?
I don't know if we've answered your question.
No, you answered. I just wondered if you have had anybody that has run into it.
We didn't like it.
We didn't like it, but it seems the lines that are on the flex lanes seem to be up to snuff, in my opinion. I think they meet all the federal standards and all that stuff. I don't think that they're lacking, but there might have been a car that the sensors weren't. And if you have a dirt buildup on the sensors and stuff, there's different things that can go wrong.
Yeah, I drove from Phoenix back up the hill and used the flex lanes, and I didn't notice anything different as far as the lane markings. What I did notice is coming up the hill, it's a more gradual grade than the regular I-17, and I kind of like that. And I could be wrong, but my wife seemed to notice that the speed limit's a little lower. It's 65 versus 75.
Yeah.
Which I thought was unusual.
Doesn't make sense. Because that section where it gets really steep when it's about 7%, all the trucks are slowing down and the motorhomes are crawling, and everybody backs up in the left lane, and then you got everybody's brake checking each other, and it gets really stupid. That's why I use the flex lanes when I can to avoid the trucks.
Yeah, definitely. I like the flex lane. It's been nice. The first month or so, whenever it was opened up, the Google Maps would yell at you.
Yeah.
And tell you you were going the wrong way. That was kind of a fun thing.
And that's what I was thinking. Maybe some of the issues with the computer is the computer doesn't have that particular highway in, but I guess that doesn't make sense because it's reading the markings. It's not reading the computer.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Have a great Saturday.
Yep. And Happy New Year to you. So,
and if you have any questions in the middle of the night, we need to call Tom at 480-773-3131. You can always get through between 2 and 3 a.m. again at 480-773-3131.
Call collect.
All right. Thanks for calling in and thanks for listening. Yep, you too. Thanks.
How's the time?
So, thanks for that great question. Yeah, there's the AI stuff. I'm definitely leery on that one. I mean, it's nice to have something that kind of warns you and keeps you awake while driving, but you need to be alert and keep your hands on the wheel and be in charge of that brake pedal and gas pedal. I mean, relying on a car to drive you places. No.
Well, Louis has a statement. He says, enjoy the drive. I mean, that's part of the living in a beautiful place like we are, part of being here now. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy the drive.
And like Ken, I mean, you were talking about taking the old county roads, the old side roads. That's fun.
Yeah, the blue highways.
Yeah. Take those roads.
Until you
roads
get behind a gravel truck going up a grade.
But with your Prius, you can just squeeze into that little, that safety lane on the side and get past them.
Yeah, we can drive under the semis in the Prius.
There you go. All right, they're cracking the whip again. We've got to take another break, and then when we come back, it looks like somebody from the ranch might be calling in. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for listening. All right, and we are back again. Northern Arizona's only live talk automotive radio show. And we have Thom on the phone. Thom, you riding horseback today in the new year, or what are you out there doing today?
Actually, guys, I wanted to wish everyone, all the listeners, and you guys a happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And I'm out on the back 40 where we put in 28 pickleball courts.
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah, but out here on the back 40, we carved out some of the pasture land and put in 28 pickleball courts. People have come from everywhere. All the courts are busy this morning.
I'm glad to hear that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is pickleball taking over golf courses now, or is golf going to start fading away and more people are doing pickleball? Or
No, but they are edging out some tennis courts here and there.
Okay, wow.
I can believe that.
28 pickleball courts.
Actually, I was up at a a place playing golf this week, and they don't even have pickleball or tennis courts anymore, just pickleball.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
pickleball's it's kind of like a tennis, but it's much smaller court, though, correct? Because didn't it used to start playing?
It's better for us older folks.
Yeah, less steps for you guys, right?
Yeah.
And then rubber
But
mats, is that what you play on?
Pickleball, I called to talk about how Carrie's raised the bar for us.
There you go.
Yeah, we can't get a drink if the bar gets too high, especially when you're on your knees.
Welcome, Ken and Carrie. Welcome back home.
Thank you.
Do you consider this home or Florida?
We consider this home because we're here most of the time.
Yeah, good. Plus, with Ken being on the town council, that has a little to do with it, too, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to show up to those, right? Aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about Prescott and Prescott Valley and the difference in gas prices. I'm bi-coastal because I live in Prescott, but my shop's in Prescott Valley, so I get the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, to your point, it's almost worth the drive down here to buy gas.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like $2.49 down in Tucson. I paid $2.79 yesterday. That's pretty good, I think. What is it up there?
At Costco, it's either $2.79 or $2.69, but everybody else is a little bit north of that, as it's usually the case.
Costco's $2.49 down in Tucson.
Yeah, most of the stations in Prescott are around $2.85 for regular, and the ones in Prescott Valley are $2.99.9.
And diesel in Prescott Valley is $3.40. I just paid that this morning.
And you know what's weird? If you just go a little bit further out there to Mayor, it drops back down again.
Yep, exactly.
Or Cordis Junction.
Well, what they pay those Prescott Valley Town Council people, they got to get the revenue from somewhere.
Oh, so they're taxing the gas.
They just
they're
tax
taxing
the gas.
There you go.
Well, guys, I don't want to take up the rest of your show. I don't have anything automotive. Ken, you and I talked last night about an issue, and I called Louis, and he said same thing you and I concluded. It's got to be driven. So he's setting me up with a guy over in Casa Grande. Good.
That was. I'd love to hear what the result was. That was a real mystery.
Well, if you have time, it'd be a good thing to bring up and talk about. But I'm not going to stay on the phone with you because there's probably a lot of background noise.
Well, it's long distance, and I know you don't want to run up your phone bill. So,
I forgot
on a fixed income.
Yeah. And the operator's getting tired of waiting, to pull the plug and.
You're going to run out of dimes.
Yeah. So you guys have a happy New Year. I'll be up to do the show on the 17th. And the ladies have the show next weekend on the 10th.
All right. Sounds good. So, you'll be up here.
Hijacking the studio.
Coolio.
You're going to have to come in and be with the ladies sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See what they identify, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyhow, you guys have a great New Year. I have a hunch that this is going to be an iconic year.
Sounds like a plan. Let's make it.
I just think it is. I don't know why. I just think this is going to be one of those years that's going down in infamy, so to speak.
It's all based on choices.
Yeah. So you guys take care.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Yep, thanks. And like Tom says, give us a call, 928-541-1016. We're always here to try to answer any questions. If you have tire questions, we can try to wing through it, but Louie's our expert, but we can wing it. So
same with transmission stuff.
Yeah. If we don't know, we'll make it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's how my dad taught me things. If I didn't know something, you don't know if it's false or not. So they're cracking the whip again. We got to do one more break, and so we will take a break and answer your phone calls when you get back. Otherwise, you're going to listen to us ramble. So 928-541-1016. We'll be back right after the break. And we are back. We're talking on the break. We got reminded that we forgot to talk about oil weights in the film that we were talking about right after the first or second break a while ago. So we got busy with phone calls, and so let's get back to the oil weights. You were talking about you actually like to upgrade your oil weight in your vehicles.
Yeah, one category. You said.
One level. And generally, not so much if it's really cold, like if we're having a cold snap, but once you get past that, for most of the year, I go one grade higher.
Mm-hmm. Talk about film strength a little bit.
Yeah, the viscosity is a big determinant of film strength, and you've got the oil is being squeezed between the bearing surfaces. And if you have oil that's so thin it's like water, it doesn't protect as well. And you think of like it being as like softball bearings in there between the surfaces. And when the oil gets really hot, like going up a grade out of Phoenix there, and when it's 118 degrees and you got the air conditioner on, the oil temperatures are really high, and the oil is just like water. And you really don't want that to protect your lifters and your piston rings and your cylinder walls and your bearings and everything like that. You've got, and the camshaft follow, you've got all those contact points where there's high pressure. So you need film strength.
Kind of like tensile strength when you're talking about metals and similar analogous, or no?
A little bit, but the bearings are actually floating on oil.
Oh, okay.
And tensile strength is more like you bend how much it takes to bend a piece of metal that's malleable. But there's ASTM standards on all that stuff, and I think they've reached a point where they're now suffering because of all those cafe mileage. They're trying to get a tenth of a mile per gallon better out of their cafe fleet averages. And we're starting to pay the price for that in engine failures.
Now, at my shop, AutoWorks, we do over 200 oil changes a month. We stick with whatever the manufacturer recommends. Back in the old days, when I had my 68 El Camino, you run 2050 or 60 weight racing oil type stuff. But with today's cars and the manufacturers, they have such small tolerances, such close tolerances and small oil ports. If you start going too thick, and some people think, I got 100,000 miles, I need to step it up to, a 1030 or something like that. You start going too thick. Today's cars have valve actuators, and you have to have oil that flows into those ports in order to actuate those things. So you get too thick, that's not going to work, or it's going to gum it up and cause more problems. So it's kind of like the internet. There's opinions out there for anything and everything. Manufacturers, yes, we all agree manufacturers have done a poor job at what they're doing, designing their stuff for longevity. But I still say follow whatever the manufacturer says. If it calls for 020, do 020. If it calls for 820, that's fine. Stepping it up, maybe once you've got 300,000-400,000 miles on your car, okay. But stop and think. You use the original manufacturer's stuff for that first 200,000-300,000 miles. It got you that far.
And that connection, if there's a recall and they find out that you're not using the stuff, or there's a warranty claim and you're not using OE type stuff, it could be problematic.
Yeah. Well, I come from a background with the RV industry. I was a technical editor for Trailer Life and Motorhome. And, all the people that are towing, they put extreme duty, high stresses on their vehicles, and you need that film strength. The other thing that really changed my mind was I found out that in other countries where they don't have the CAFE ratings and the EPA, that the same vehicles like a Prius will require a higher, that the factory recommends a higher viscosity oil. For the exact same,
better protection,
for the exact same engine. So like say a Prius or a Toyota or whatever, that here they're calling for 0W8. They actually in Japan, for example, will say 5W30 or 5W20.
520,
yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that was what really changed my mind.
All right. Well, we also have a quick question from Steve. He's on line 1. So, Steve, what's your quick question? Because we are kind of running out of time today. What do you got?
Hey, do I remember you guys a week or 2 or 3 ago, one of you saying that you were an aficionado of the Honda CR-V?
We have one in the family fleet.
Okay,
This is Ken.
I'm nearly certain. I'm nearly certain I remember that. But anyway, I have a 1998 Honda CR-V, original engine, 2 transmission rebuild. Guess how many miles on it?
450.
You are very much in the ballpark. 483.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, it's broken in now.
So
you don't have to
obviously
use
been doing
break-in oil
maintenance.
anymore.
Yeah. No more zinc additive.
It's a money pit, but I love that car.
They
Well,
are.
the
They're just
transmissions
comfortable.
were the money pit, I imagine. The rest of it probably wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't take it to Prescott Valley transmission, but I should have, and that's another story. But live and learn, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you won't need a third one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I love your show. I'm always learning something.
Good. Thanks for listening.
We
and tell
appreciate
your
your
friends.
loyalty. Means a lot.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
New
Year.
Year.
What about the top tier gas?
Yeah, we can talk real quick about gas. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so we had a caller call in asking about fuel, the quality of fuel from, say, Costco or AMPM or Chevron or the liquor store.
Yeah.
So I was kind of curious about the liquor store gas. So Ken, go ahead and let us know on that one.
Well, there is what's called top tier gas, and they have to qualify for that. And that is the type of fuel that's used by the manufacturers in all their testing and certification, EPA testing and everything like that.
And that's got the special detergents and octane boosters and
it
packs
has
and stuff to
it
it,
has
right?
a fair amount of additives, and so that's basically your gold standard, your good stuff. And then let's see, Chevron definitely uses it. I'm not sure. I think Texaco and Exxon use it.
Texaco, Shell,
I think they
Costco,
advertise it,
and
and
they have a little
Costco.
sticker that says
Yeah.
top tier.
So Costco is probably the lowest price you'll get that top tier gas, and Chevron is generally, they have it and they have the good additives, but they're usually the most expensive kid on the block. So you have to decide, and then you have a lot of the other stations still get the same fuel, but they sometimes get a mixture of fuel and whatever's available on the spot market and stuff, and like Valero.
That might be your liquor store type gas that they're
Yeah.
talking about at some of those shady stations. But.
Yeah.
So yeah, be careful. We've got less than a minute to go in this first of the year news show that we have. Thanks for listening. We've got great people on our panel. We've got a couple of great people that aren't on our panel today, and they're out goofing around and stuff. So thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate your comments and concerns and questions. And I think how Tom says, have a great week. It's going to be a great week to have.
They're
right?
going to have a great year. It's going to be a great year to have.
Yep.
Yes.